Respect it, I mean, we network across the globe cause it's a global market in case you didn't know. And since we all about information flow, let me be the first one to welcome you to Tech Zone with Paul Amadeus Lane. Let's talk tech cause technology changing the game. It's all good in the hood, it's everywhere. Now let's get to the show cause we live on air, yeah.
Welcome back. We are in our third and final segment of the show. Thank all of you who stayed with me through the first, second segment. Matt Weinberger from Business Insider talking about that Windows 10 update and how, just like old Star Trek movies, the even years suck and the odd years don't. So great talking to Matt. If you missed it, you can always check out the podcast, KMET 1490 ABC News Radio, or you can check out the YouTube, and you can hear some of the knowledge he was giving us when it comes to that. And don't forget, too, in our first segment, we talked about the contest that the Consumer Technology Association is doing for you artists out there. If you want to be a part of the video project, remember you got to have all the submission in by September 1st, 11:59 Eastern Time. So you definitely want to do that. And don't forget, to always connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and all that great stuff. You know, I had a great guest on with me about a couple of months ago. Had a chance to meet him at the at E3 a couple of years ago. He's a cool guy. We're talking about the Dominican Dominator himself. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, just check this out right here.
Hey guys, welcome to Throwdown on YouTube. If you're a gamer who is passionate about the industry, then you've come to the right place. Each week, I, Tony Polanco, along with Emilio Lopez, Brian Manjoma, Brett Murdock, and Chris Seeley, discuss the latest in gaming news. We bring you real talk about gaming that you won't hear anywhere else. No publisher, developer, or fanboy is safe with us. Along with Throwdown, we also feature Throwdown Your Questions, where we answer your questions directly. We also have Spoiler Alert, where we have spoiler-filled discussions about games and movies, and Otanime, our anime spotlight show. Subscribe to this channel and prepare to have fun with us each week. Get ready to throw down.
My man with the plan, Tony Polanco. What's going on, the Dominican Dominator?
Paul, man, how you doing, man? Thank you for having me on again, man. Always fun talking to you, man.
Hey, great to have you on. And you know what, Tony? I talked about it in the first segment of the show. I talked about the new PS4 Slim, and I told everybody that I reached out to you right when it came out. I said, "Yo, bro, we got to talk about this, man." But before we do, man, what's good, man? Congratulations, 500 subscribers on YouTube, man.
Yeah, man. Like, our channel has been like up for about 2 years, right? And we really started making a really heavy push to have people on it about 2 years ago. And then lately, like, I don't know what we've been doing, but it's just been like ramping up. So when we hit 487, me and my man Emilio, who you saw in that little intro there, I was like, yo, we got to get the word out there. We're going to get to 500 today, son. So, you know, we got the word out there, and within 6 hours, we hit like 511. You know, so, and it just keeps going and going. So, you know, I want to thank everybody for, you know, checking us out, because, you know, we're not like regular gaming podcasts, man. We keep it extra real in our podcast. You know?
Absolutely.
On this right now, you're hearing the clean Tony, you know, we keep it extra real, but at the same time, you know, we're educated. We're not just tossing a bunch of stuff out there just for the sake of it. You know, we know what we're talking about. It's just we put companies to the task. Like, we're going to put Sony to the task today, you know, on my show, and we're going to get a little bit of taste of that right here, right now.
Absolutely. See, Tony's show is like the Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy version. I'm like the Bill Cosby Sinbad version, but you know, we still get our point across, man. And
hold on, Paul. I got to correct you real quick, man. Our Star Trek movies is the even ones that are the good ones. The odd ones.
That's true.
Yeah, you know, like Wrath of Khan, A Voyage Home, Undiscovered Country. You know, 2, 4, and 6. You know, those are top tier. You know, 1, 3, and 5, not so much.
It's kind of like Windows, right? Because Windows, the odd years of Windows kind of suck, right? Because 98 was cool, XP was cool, and 8 sucked, ME sucked. You know, so.
What about 10 though, man? 10 ain't that bad, you know?
Man, and I talked about this with Matt earlier in the show about how, a lot of my production software, like my Adobe Premiere, had a couple of glitches with the Windows 10 update, so I had to go back down to my Windows 7 Professional, just for the time being. But, I love all the swag that comes with Windows 10. And don't forget, Tony, Xbox and Windows 10 exclusive.
Yes.
Remember that from E3?
Yep. I can never forget that because they said it about 50 times during the first half an hour.
I mean, they had to do something, man, because the press conference was kind of like, watching wet paint dry. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, it got to get better. It got to get. And Sony just came in and just blew everybody's mind. I was talking to actor Scott Porter at Comic-Con, and he was there with his brother and sister, and Scott was like, too, he's an Xbox dude like me, and he was like, man, Sony just blew my mind, when they came out with the male choir, the woman beatboxer, and coming out to God of War. It was like, oh snap, this is awesome.
Yeah, that was I've been to a bunch of these conferences. That was like the best one because they didn't. Okay, you notice how usually they have a bunch of developers come out, talk about their games. This one is just wall-to-wall games. The only developer they had on it was Kojima, and they brought my man out like a rock star.
You see it, man. I was like, he came out. I thought he was gonna drop the mic when he came out, man. But bust a little sea walk, when he come out and everything. But I was like, that was you hit it spot on, Tony.
Yep. Oh, man, that was great, man. And I told this story on your last show. I met my man at E3. It was like a bucket list moment. Check that off.
Absolutely. And you know what? Before we talk about the PlayStation 4 Slim, the leak that came out, it's interesting, man. How many celebrities out there are gamers, man? Like I said, Scott Porter's a gamer. Christopher Gorham is a gamer, and I had a chance to talk with those cats, man. I mean, they not just gamers, Tony. They serious gamers, man, and it's like a whole movement now. Who would have thought, man, when you and I were playing with the Super NES, man, that we would have a big gaming community that we have now, man.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up because I was actually messing around with some emulated games with this right here, the SNES controller. But yeah, no, you're right. When we were kids and stuff, to us, gaming was just something me and our buddies did. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't think about it like as a whole worldwide phenomenon like it is now. So it's not. Here's the thing: people need to understand. Like, this is it's a $4 billion industry every year. That's a lot of people playing. So it's like, listen, man, you can't just be thinking it's only for nerds in their basement and stuff. It's not like that, man. Everybody's a gamer now. Everybody, Now I look at you and Sean now,
doing this PC gaming and left me in the dust, with my consoles and stuff. And Sean agreed with you last show too. He said, tell Tony he's straight up because he has a alien. Remember, he has an Alienware. Yeah. And he and I was talking about the USB, I guess, C ports. That they have on it now. Your gaming computer, your PC, do you have that USB-C port now they're all gushing about?
Yo, yeah, I believe so. It's in the back because I had mine, specially built. My boy Torrance Davis, who actually gave me a start in the industry. He's a brother too.
Oh, nice.
He helped me like configure everything. So because he was the first guy that told me like, yo, don't buy any of those pre-made computers. You have your stuff built for you, bro. So he gave me all the components. I took it down to Micro Center, which is right down the block. Shout out to Micro Center, by the way, great store, and they built it for me, and it's beautiful, man. It's fantastic. I'm messing with PC games now. That's how I was able to play. I was playing Super Mario World on my PC.
What?
Like just before you hit me up.
Oh, man,
it's crazy.
And and keep in mind, when I tried to hit him up, he was like, "Give me 2 minutes." He was trying to get that mushroom. That's all it was, right, man? But what's interesting, man. You being a writer and also a show host when it comes to the gaming industry. What kind of came through your mind when you kind of got it probably the same way I did through press releases about the leak about the PS4, man? What's your take on that?
Okay, so interesting about that. On June 30th, right, Wall Street Journal they posted a report saying, hey, Sony is possibly going to be showing a PS4 Slim and the Neo at Tokyo Game Show, which is September 13th around, right? So I had written about this. I knew it was coming, right? And a couple of my sources, they told me too. So when the news dropped, here's the thing. I'll take it back a little bit. News didn't drop when the leak dropped, right? I was surprised, right? But I was somewhat surprised by Sony's reaction to it. They pulled down all the videos that talked about it, that showed it. I understand them wanting to, protect their assets or whatever. That's fine. Like if these guys were like, I guess not illegally, but like just putting videos out there that they weren't supposed to. That's fine. But fan reactions. That's what I'm like, Sony, man. I don't know if you should have went down the direction, but as for the PS4 Slim, no one should be surprised. Think about it like this, right? PS2 Slim came out 3 years after the PS2 was launched. PS3 Slim came out 3 years after the PS3 was launched. What happens 3 years later after the PS4 launch? A Slim console comes out. This was expected. Even the Xbox One S When did that come out? 3 years after the console. This is always what happens. Basically, for you guys, I mean, I'm pretty sure your audience is tech heavy, right? But 3 years in, the companies, they know how to make these things smaller, better components, cooler components. So that's what happens. So and all the savings that they incur, they pass it on to us. So I think it's a good thing, slim consoles and all that, especially you haven't bought the system. I just question Sony's just reaction to it. It just seemed a little heavy-handed. Me, let the little guys do their thing, man.
Tell me about
free press right there, man.
And that's one thing. You bring up a very good point. Sometimes you probably have this too when you reach out to people who want to interview. It's funny how sometimes they get the big head. Oh, tell me who your audience is. How many users?
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm sure you got a budget for marketing. Now, if you're going to break me off some dough, I'll let you know all the numbers. But if I'm giving you some free press, you better just come on and just be happy that somebody wants to talk about it. But it's funny how, and sometimes, Tony, it used to be that way back in the days. Sometimes you got these new cats there who have this kind of God complex, like the keys of the kingdom. Like, no, unless I say it, don't do it. But I'm like, free press, Tony, free press.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with free press. It's like, okay, I understand your stuff got leaked beforehand. That I could understand that sort of anger, but at the same time, hey, it's already out there. When I go, hey guys, okay, you guys know about the PS4 Slim, talk about it. We're gonna tell you more information on September 7th when we have our Sony event in New York. That's how you should handle it. Get people hyped up. Use this thing to your advantage. I mean, going back a little bit, this is a different medium too. When the Civil War trailer, right, for Marvel Civil War was leaked, what did Marvel do? Like, oh, Hydra got us. They just ran with it.
Absolutely.
That's how you do it,
It's all about the free press. And now, and the Neo version of the Slim, what do you think about that? You gonna pay a little extra money just to have it light up? What do you think?
All right, so the PS4 Neo is, I guess, yeah, because it's coming out before the Xbox Scorpio. It's the first of an iterative console. I don't mean iterative consoles as in slims. I'm talking about a console that is actually has better hardware inside of it than the previous console. We've never seen that for a console before. We see it for PCs and phones all the time, right? So what I think about that, me personally, I don't really feel the need to get the Neo. I'm good with my PS4 because games are now going to be backwards and forwards compatible. So anything that comes out for the Neo will be able to be played on my PS4, just lower settings. It's not going to be 60 frames. It's not going to be all that stuff. But that's fine for me. I'm not really one of those guys that needs to all to be crazy like that. I will probably buy a Neo if my PS4 dies or something, but I don't feel the need for it. But I do like the fact that they are giving people a choice. I was very hesitant about it because like you, I'm old school. I'm like, okay, 5 years you get a new console. That's how it should be. I prefer a PS5 over a PS4 Neo. But if we're going to go down that route, especially if you're going to be emulating cell phones,
absolutely,
it's fine. Here's the thing: people need to understand because there was a kind of a backlash for it. Okay, if cell phones come out, a new cell phone comes out every year, PC parts come out every year. Why do consoles have to be stuck in the past?
Absolutely. And interesting you bring that up, Tony. Why not make consoles upgrade compatible? You know what I mean? It's like I have an Xbox One and I have Xbox 360. Pretty soon I'm gonna not get rid of my 360, but put it to another room and get another Xbox One. But here's the thing. If they would just have interchangeable parts like PCs, hey, you don't have to go out and spend another 300, 400 bones just to get the latest software, just upgrade this, upgrade that. But, that's kind of my drawback when it comes to the consoles. And that's why I'm kind of warming up to the PC idea of gaming, because PC, you can definitely do that, man.
Yeah, you can. You can swap out stuff whenever you want. Like right now, my current PC has a GTX 960 card. I'm going to swap it out for a 1080, 1070, right?
Absolutely.
And it's easy to do that. So I'm like, why not do that? It's just going to be a little harder for console guys to get behind that idea. But if you make it easy, I think it'll work. Just don't do it the way Sega did. Remember they had the 32X and the Sega CD?
Oh, yeah.
Splice it all together. I had that, a little crazy, but I think they could do it right. Just have a port in the side. Okay, you can stick in another graphics card. Maybe you could trade in your old graphics card, get a little money back. I don't know, but I think they could do it.
And if we look at like the battle between Microsoft and Xbox, the Project Scorpio is coming out this year. Neo is coming out. PlayStation Slim, and it seems like we're starting to see a paradigm here. Remember growing up, we did our gaming on our NES, Odyssey, and in television, you name it. And then we went over to the PC gaming for a little while. And then some of the PC gamers went to the consoles when the Genesis came out and all this other stuff. It seemed like we always are seeing that, like ones who were hardcore console gamers are now going towards the PCs. But then we're starting to see like ones who want to just watch stuff they used to watch on their PC, now watching it on these consoles like Netflix, Amazon, you name it.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny how consoles are becoming more and more like PCs every day, right? They use the same architecture and all that. And you're right. I mean, when I go on PSN, right, or Xbox, I swear, and I'm not exaggerating, half the people on there aren't even playing games. They're watching Netflix or YouTube, you know? So it's pretty interesting how things are like melding together in that sense, right? But at the same time, if consoles are going to be becoming more like PCs with regards to the features, why not have it like PCs with regards to the hardware too?
Amen.
Upgrade it every couple of years, you know?
Amen to that, my friend. So what else is going on in the world of gaming, man? You know, when we talked about the PS4, the leaks, what else is going on in gaming?
All right. Well, right now, as you know, as you guys may know, the summer drought is about to end. During summer, no games come out, right? Like, I mean, there games come out, but nothing really big and heavy and crazy, right? But now everything has changed because Deus Ex Mankind Divided is the first big AAA game of the summer, because it is still technically summer, and that's what's going on with that. I've been playing it for a couple of hours. Fantastic game. I loved Human Revolution, the previous game, so I'm digging this one. And in the next couple of months, we're gonna have Gears of War 4. We're gonna have Watch Dogs 2. We're gonna have The Last Guardian. Final Fantasy got delayed. It was supposed to come out at the end of September, but that's coming. So we're gonna get a lot of this of new Call of Duty, obviously Battlefield, Titanfall. It's gonna be, as usual, it's gonna be completely insane, man.
Absolutely. And Tony, before we let you go, my friend, you know, what caught my eye this week, I follow you on Twitter a lot, and you know, even though I didn't know this person, but you know, being a part of the fraternity of media and covering things, you know, I felt that I knew her just by the way you described her. And Tony, we're talking about your dear friend who passed away, and why don't you let the audience know about her, please?
Okay, so as you can see on the screen here, Rachel Murdock. So, okay, my show, Throw It Down, like I said, we started on YouTube 2 years ago, but we actually, our origins go back to 4 years ago when we were just doing straight MP3s, and she was a big part of that. We brought her onto my original site, and, you know, we had her on the show because she knew herself. She was a true gamer, right? Old school like us. And she helped us out with topics. She produced the show for a while. The MP3s made them sound really, really slick. And unfortunately, about a year after that, she was diagnosed with cancer, right? And she was battling it for 2 years. And unfortunately, she lost her battle with it just a couple of days ago. It's still crazy to think that. This is a girl like I've always talked to, you know, like we always text each other. She was sending me funny things and stuff, you know, really insightful too. So it's just really like upsetting that a person like that has just been taken from the world. But what we did on our show was, because we were like, okay, she was such a big part of the show, you know, the fans loved her, we got to do a special tribute to her. So we did that just not last night, the night before that, and it was good. We, you know, the thing is, I don't really like mourning people like that. Like, why not, instead of like, you know, being upset about their death, why not celebrate their life, right? So we handled it in that respect, and it was good. We traded a bunch of stories. It was really good fun, and we had a lot of comments from the fans of a lot of outpouring of love and all that. And the other thing is, her husband, Brett Murdock, he's one of our panelists too, you know, and he obviously can't be on the show right now because he's grieving, but you know, people are sending mad love to him and everything. I talked to him last night, you know, he appreciates all that, and he'll probably be back on pretty soon because he's taking a really good attitude towards us. He's like, she wouldn't want me to just, you know, sink into this hole and become a dark person, you know, because of that. I'm going to move on through her. And that's what I'm doing myself, because I'm just being honest with everybody right now. I actually feel very, very angry about all this, right? But I know she wouldn't want me to start acting like that, feeling like that way. So I'm trying to just put that aside and just remember her the way, you know, she would want me to remember her. So I'm glad you had me talk about her for a little bit to your audience, man, because she was a very, very special person to me. Like I was telling you before the show, I don't really have a big, like, I have a lot of acquaintances and stuff, but I don't really have like friends like that I feel like, you know, I let in. So she was one of those people, and just to lose her is very devastating. But at the same time, even though it was brief, I'm glad she came into my life and all our lives.
Awesome. And Tony B, before we let you go, my friend, I would be remiss if you didn't have any, I guess, gaming knowledge to impart to Sean, because Sean is a gamer. You know, like I said, he plays Elders of the Lost Scroll. You and him got a game sometime together, man. What kind of advice can you give Sean?
Yeah, I mean, it's just so much. Okay, I got to talk to this dude, Sean. He sounds like a really cool cat. You know, when it comes to PC gaming, you know, build your own stuff, bro. Just do that. And keep your consoles around, because the funny thing is, I'm not to segue too much, but some of the PC releases lately for multi-plat games have been a little wonky. So you want to keep your console around just for that. You don't want to go full on PC just yet. But then again, at the same time, you want to have all the consoles. So that's what I would say just to him and everybody. It's like, have as many consoles as you possibly can that are affordable, and just game on everything, man, because gaming is a beautiful thing. There's so many experiences out there that, you're going to miss out on if you're only stuck on one system. So try to get as much as you can and just game as much as you can. And obviously, tell everybody why gaming is great too. People often will do that. We hear so much negativity about gaming. Tell people out there why gaming is awesome and why it impacts you in a positive way.
Awesome. You know what I'm going to have to do one day is have Sean join us on the show too. And you guys can definitely talk some gaming. The Dominican dominator himself, Tony Polanco, host of The Throwdown. How can they connect with you, my friend?
All right, so you can find me on Twitter at Romudeth, ROMUDETH. I'm pretty sure Paul will have a link there. It's going to have links on myself because I am a writer for Geek.com. I also write some stuff for PC Mag, The Coalition too, and obviously my show with Throwdown, which we go live at 10:30 every Thursday and Saturday. That's Eastern, 10:30 Eastern. We're gonna have a new show tonight where we're gonna probably commemorate Rachel a little bit more and talk about the Slim news and the PS4 Neo stuff. It's very interesting. But yeah, please check us out, support, and all that. Spread the word, man. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, Tony. Well, we'll talk to you real soon, my friend.
Peace.
Boy, was that a fast-paced hour of the Tech Zone, wasn't it, Sean? So, Sean, you gonna accept our challenge of being on the show with us and Tony and talk gaming? Come on, Sean. Sean extraordinaire. He is our engineer there at home base at the studios at ABC News Radio, KMET. I'm going to get Sean on one day. You watch. Definitely going to do it. I'd like to thank Sean Parker, Director of Digital Media for the Consumer Technology Association, joining me talking about how you bands, you singers can submit your music to win a contest for the Consumer Electronics Show 2017. That would be super cool. And remember, go to the website and check it out. And I'm going to put that website back on the screen there just for a second so you can check it out. There it is right there. There it is. CES 2017 Music Contest. Make sure you do. You got to have it submitted by September 1st at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you do it. All right. Also, I thank Matt Weinberger, tech reporter extraordinaire for Business Insider, helping us navigate through Windows 10. I hope they get it right. Yeah, I hope they do. And last but not least, the great Tony Polanco, host of The Throwdown, writer extraordinaire. Thank you so much, Tony. Great talking to you. And you guys take care of yourself here on the Tech Zone, and let's keep Rachel's family in our thoughts and prayers. In the media, it's a small fraternity. Even if you don't know each other, you feel the closeness to being in the game. So our thoughts and prayers goes to Rachel Murdock and her family. Take care. Love those who can't love themselves. Till next time.